You can take calls, but it will be for the whole class to hear. Back in my college days, I was taking an ancient history class with a notoriously grouchy professor that we will just call Prof. He was super old school and a ripe sack of horse apples. He hated technology and insisted on using an analog projector with actual film sides because they were more reliable, despite the fact that he regularly had to replace the bulb, sometimes in the middle of a lecture. Just so you can understand how awful this guy was, we once had to write a 3-page essay on why a certain breed of ancient dogs were the superior breed of canine. Oh, and he just so happened to have 2 Bansages. I don't know how to say that. We were literally writing papers on why his dogs were cool and why he was so cool for owning them. Anyway, this asshat was a creep and he hated phones in his class, particularly texting. We had to physically turn off our phones in front of him unless it was an absolute emergency, and even then it had to be a phone call as, again, he had a righteous fury reserved for text. It was a tornado season in my state and we had several tornado warnings for the area. At the time, I was engaged and I had a lot of friends and future in-laws in the area, so before class, I told several of them to call or text me when their area was safe just for my own peace of mind. No biggie. I honestly thought Prof wouldn't have an issue with me keeping my phone on since, you know, massive, mobile, swirling natural disasters were roaming the city. I should have never doubted the depths of his slimness. But he should have never doubted the depths of my pettiness. I told him that I had a family and a fiance and asked if I could keep my phone on my desk just in case. He has this awful goblin-esque scowl on his face and says, if you want to take calls during a lecture and interrupt my class, you can do it for the whole class to hear. By this, he means speakerphone. He had said the same thing before with other people and most of them just turned off their phones. I'm a boat rocker though. I'll stir a pot of shit like my life depends on it. Naturally, I cheerily agree and thank him profusely as I text several friends before class begins telling them to call me at certain times with the most ridiculous emergencies they can conceive, but keep them plausible. We aren't 5 minutes into the lecture before I got a call from my cousin. As the ringtone cuts through the classroom, the professor rolls his eyes and gestures for me to answer it. The naders sucked up the entire chicken coop, says the voice in quivering tones as if the caller is on the brink of tears. I finish the call and wish him and his fictional farm well. 10 minutes pass and I get another call from a friend. The results just came in. It's definitely erectile dysfunction. Emphasis on dysfunction. Brownie points to him for getting creative. I don't think the professor could hear the contents of the calls from his podium, but the surrounding students could, which results in either faces of pure confusion or holding back cackles. Another call like this rings in and I'm told to take any future calls out in the hallway. I spend essentially the entire period sitting down at my desk, getting a call, walking out in the hallway, consoling the caller for whatever absurd malady has befallen them, and walking back to my desk. Luckily, I always sat right next to the door. I don't think I could have gotten away with this if I had to walk across the entire classroom. Afterwards, professor let us keep our phones on our desk to check them for emergencies. We still couldn't text, but it was a step in the right direction.